Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick review here of the Hezzo F8, what we're calling the world's best scooter. I've been driving it now, or riding it now, whatever you call it, for about 3 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere in that range. And so I guess you could say like my 1 month verdict, and that's really when you get to know it after you've ridden it, 50 times, 30 times, 50 miles, 100 miles, whatever it might be. And I have to say, when I first got it the first day, I labeled it as the world's best scooter. And I'm not including the $20,000 weep heads. That's a whole different category. It's the price of a car. So I'm not counting that. This is, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, somewhere in that range. A decent chunk of money, but not enough to buy a car or a good car. So anyway, have had so much fun on this thing. All right, again, it has 3 secret weapons that I talked about in the first video, and now, a month later, would I agree with those 3 things? Do I still think it's the world's best scooter? Absolutely. This thing has been so much fun, has performed flawlessly. I drove it one day in Wildwood, along the Wildwood Boardwalk, for 3 hours with my sister on her e-bike, and at the end of the 3 hours, and she has an e-bike with a large battery, I said, "How's your battery doing?" This is after maybe 2 to 3 hours of driving. She said, "Still full, all 5 bars." I said, "Okay." I looked at mine. Mine is more intricate. It has like 10 bars. All 10 were still full. I don't know how. It was in first gear the whole time, because first gear gets it to go 35, 40 miles an hour as fast as I need it. And then it's only got one motor in the back, okay? So it's got, instead of having 2 4,000 watt motors or 2 1,500 watt motors, it's got one 8,000 watt motor, okay? Serious wheels. This is a scooter that you can sit on. You kind of ride it almost like a chopper because of the way the handlebars go up. I added 2 JBL Pulse speakers because it doesn't have any LED lighting. Most scooters nowadays have some type of LED lighting going on, and this one didn't. So I didn't want it to be too loud. I wanted it something I could turn on or off if I'm driving late at night and I don't want to really advertise too much, But anyway, the 3 secret weapons I had originally talked about that really make this just an unbelievable scooter in all ways are still in force. The 16-inch motorcycle wheels. Look at those beauties. I mean, not to mention, look how nice the inverted shocks. You've got the extra chamber here for some extra, I don't know if it takes the air, but look at the machining on that. I mean, that's some heavy duty steel, man. Look at the stainless steel, just beautiful. But anyway, these wheels are just gorgeous. And I mean, just look at these things. I mean, again, they're not scooter wheels that are 12 inches, 11 inches, 14 inches, 13 inches. These are 16 inches. I mean, I have an electric bike that has 16-inch wheels, for God's sakes, But it can't compete with this thing. Again, when you combine the 72 volt, it's got 180 amp with a 72 volt. So it's considered a racing amp. I don't really know what that means, but basically I know it means it's fast as shit. Let's put it that way. That's all you need to know. And like I said, I've had this thing in second gear. First gear goes up to about 35 miles an hour. Second gear gets up to like 50, or that's as far as I've gotten it. And third gear, who knows, dude? You could probably do like 70, 80 miles an hour in third gear. It's insane. I don't know that. I mean, it's very sturdy. And again, look at where most scooters have one stem coming up. Look at the girth here, man. Look at the mass. I mean, that's solid steel. If I squeeze that as hard as I can, it doesn't even budge slightly. So you got the 16-inch wheels. That's the one sort of secret weapon. Then the second secret weapon is this seat. Okay, every time I get a seat on an electric scooter, I immediately take it off because I need the foot room, and I'd rather have room to move my feet around. And the seats always suck. They're little and tiny, like a little tiny puff of cheap leather with just foam in the middle. And when you're driving 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, and you got to lower your rear end, you can't be like just trying to find it. It's got to be there. It's got to be big enough that you can find it. And look at this one. Instead of it being like a narrow rectangle that has a high puff, this is like a sort of a high grade foam that is real soft and feels great, but it's not so spongy that you're sort of moving all over the place. On top of that, look at the curvature to the seat. So the curvature to the seat acts on a engineering principle that if you bend it in the middle, it's not going to have as much girth or weight coming down onto it. So in other words, instead of having a pole go straight up like most of them, see how it's curved? So every time you hit a bump, that helps. The foam here helps. Of course, the amazing rear and front shocks help, and the 16-inch wheels really give it a lot of extra oomph. So really, in just all ways, this scooter excels over any other scooter I have. I've had about, I'm not going to say 10 of them, I've had about 5 to 6 of them. But every single one, and some of them have been great, but they still have not even, I mean, as soon as I got this one, I basically put all the other ones up for sale because there's just no, and I had one before called a Tiff Gallop K8 that I loved. It was 12-inch wheels with tubeless tires. It's got 60 volt by 38 amp battery, so it's a big, powerful battery. Again, super fast if you engage both motors on that one. And it lit up, which I liked at the time. Now I don't really like that as much. But anyway, I went after maybe 2 months of, or I got this, I don't know, sometime around sometime mid-August, I guess, and we're now in early October. So I guess it's been 5 or 6 weeks maybe I've had it. But anyway, the point is that I went back after a couple weeks of using this to the other one, the one that had previously been my elite of 4 scooters. So better than the Q06, better than some other around $1,000 scooters. That was about a $1,500 scooter, the Tiff Gallop K8. So I thought that was going to be extra good or whatever. It turns out, yeah, it as soon as I got back on it after being on this for a month or two, I literally it was last night I went on it. I was looking forward to almost like sentimentally trying it for old time's sake, and I thought, that was a lot of fun before you started riding this every day. Give it a shot again. It was so unfun riding it because this is just so damn elite. It's unbelievable how elite it is. I added little stupid things here, like this is a really cool, it's like a heavy duty water bottle thing that's got like metal and aluminum. It's it's not going to fuck around. This here, I've got it set up so you can charge your phone from your actual, that's aluminum, not aluminum, stainless steel, no plastic. So this is actually made for like a motorcycle that goes 100 miles an hour, and you can charge your phone while you're riding. How cool is that? I got 2 different kind of mirrors, one convex and one regular, and I like them both in separate ways. Look at these oil drums, amazing. In here I got a cup holder for my little gloves because it's starting to get cold. This is bear mace because somebody's trying to gank you, you know what I mean? This is stuff to repair it, one of those auto inflators, if the tire goes flat, shit like that. I did put the sealant with the Kevlar in here. Another thing, third secret weapon, okay? This big beautiful thing here under your feet is so big because it holds a 50 amp battery, and that is huge. Like I say, you can drive for an hour or 2 and still be at or near full battery after 2 hours of driving, which is insane. And again, unlike a normal scooter or electric bike that is sometimes using 2 motors, which is double the power, however you slice it, this only has 1, but it's an 8,000 watt motor. So I mean, it kicks ass. Obviously really nice high-end hydraulic brakes. Okay, you've got hydraulic brakes that are like regular hydraulic brakes, and then you got the kind with these drums of different color, basically mineral oil or whatever it is. But that's a sign of the high-end one when you get it like this. You actually have it to where it's really high-end, okay? And that's the sign when you have it. Actual mineral oil hydraulic brakes, it'll actually tell you that, and now even one level above that, look at this. I mean, I've never seen brakes that do this before. And all it is adjusting. It's not a huge deal, but I mean, look at that. That is just so cool depending on how far away you want these from your hand. Again, just the little extra touches you get nicer stuff of when you start going up a notch, I guess you could say. And, oh, look at the doggy. And anyway, guys, so can't say enough about it. Oh, and another thing I'd like to mention again, just look at this frame. Look at how heavy duty the frame is. Most scooters collapse right here. That's another secret weapon I forgot about. I think that is the third one. Is all my other scooters collapse here, and they've got a little handle here that collapses them. Every time I've always collapsed them, I've always felt a little nervous about the collapse, that if you're going high speed and it comes undone, the whole thing's going to collapse like a taco on you, and you're basically screwed. You're probably going to break bones and shit at 40, 30 miles an hour. So anyway, look at this one. Just solid, solid iron. It's got this extra, like this here is just an extra heavy duty piece of steel on top of the steel. See, that's the steel for your actual battery that all other scooters have. Well, a nice steel case to keep it safe. This one, look, they bolted on an extra heavy duty one. And then look at this coming up. Look at that. Look at how heavy duty that is with a double fork, double column. And then coming up to double stainless steel bolts here. So instead of one or two, you have double stainless steel bolts. And you've also got the heat sink, the actual stainless steel heat sink on the 60 volt headlights. So in both categories, unbelievable the craftsmanship and attention to detail that they have on that. And that's why these go for the higher amounts, So people just seem to like the more expensive scooters. But these were originally $5,500, then $5,000, now they're down to $3,200, which is, to me, is a steal. And if you're considering getting a $4,000 or $5,000 scooter like the Roadrunner or the Apollo Pro or something, both great scooters, but can't hold a candle because of those 12-inch, 13-inch wheels, 11-inch wheels, whatever. They just can't compete with the 16-inch wheels. This is like a motorcycle, basically. It's essentially like a motorcycle that you can stand up on. I know, it's crazy. So anyway, guys, give it a try on Amazon or at the website. Hezzo F8. Not the F9. F9's a lower scooter, believe it or not. So it's the F8 is their elite model. And just look at this thing. Looks like the kind of scooter you go across the Australian outback, or so like a serious ass scooter. It's funny, whenever you show up to some place where there's other scooters, all the other scooters it's almost like the sea is parting when this one shows up. They're all like mouths on the ground, kind of like, whoa, look at that, man. So that's another, if you're into that, I don't really give a shit about that. But another thing, this helmet, I guess apparently everyone stops me and tells me it looks like the Halo guy. And I used to play Halo back in the day, so it is kind of funny, but I just got it because it was a half-price sale and shit, and it was the best one I could get for the price. But I do like the yellow camo, actually. But anyway, Hezzo F8, guys. Give it a try. Peace.